Cool. Alrighty. So. Quadcopter. Oh yeah.
Check out the blades, evenly, both sides.
So 3D multi-rotors is very different than standard multi-rotor. With 3D, it's flying like flying a helicopter. The center stick is zero throttle. Above the center stick, then you go into regular flight. When you go below the throttle or below the medium throttle, it turns into reverse. So the motor stops, spins backwards. Then everything else is reversed. Your elevator is reversed. Your ailerons are reversed. Your rudder is reversed. So when you're flying inverted, it's tricky at first, but then you have to remember you go down to climb and you go up to descend. That is the tricky part of flying 3D. As you're flying and you go down and you flip upside down, inverted, you go throttle down to actually climb, and then you go throttle up to descend. Very different. So in order to arm this machine when you're flying, you have to be, oh, I took the battery out.
It's okay.
I forgot. So you go to about between 45 and 49% throttle, which is around here. And then you have to flip the switch into 3D mode. This switch right here has to be all the way here, which is 3D mode. So then once you do that, you hold the rudder left for about 3 seconds, then the motors will turn on automatically. If the motors don't turn on, then you're not in the right position between here and here. So you have to play with it until you find the right position between 45 and 49% throttle. Once you arm, the motor just starts to spin up. Then you can start your regular 3D flying like normal. So when you're flying 3D, you can switch to 2D anytime by flipping the mode switch. So let's say you're coming in for a landing and you don't want the motors to spin when you go full down like this. The motors, instead of going to full power, they'll shut off. What you do is while you're flying, when you're coming in for a landing, you flip it back to 2D mode. That way when you're throttled down, it will actually go to zero throttle instead of negative 100 throttle. Those are the basics of the 3D Walkera 3D quad.
And the blades are...
The blades are special blades. As you can see, these blades have 2 leading edges. Here's the normal leading edge of a propeller, but also on the trailing edge they also have a regular airfoil. It's not a flat like most other propellers. So it produces more thrust when it's spinning backwards than a traditional propeller. It's not as efficient as a regular propeller. It won't produce as much thrust as a regular propeller, but it'll still provide enough thrust to maintain and actually climb inverted, which is a regular propeller. It'll climb, but it will make the motors work really, really hard, and they'll get really hot. You'll probably end up damaging the motor eventually. So as you're flying, the propeller is spinning like this, normal. When you start going to 3D, it actually stops, and it'll go the other way as you're flying inverted. It provides the extra lift that you need for 3D flight. The propellers, they're always based off a regular rotation. They don't go off the 3D rotation when you're putting them on. They always go off the regular rotation. So as you can see, if you look at this propeller, it has the arrows. This one spins clockwise, which is a standard for most multi-rotors. The one over here spins counterclockwise. So they're the same, there's nothing different. It's just the actual propeller that's different. You're still gonna mount them like normal propellers. Nothing special about them. One tip is that when you're flying, normally when you're flying a regular racing multi-rotor, you have your camera angled up so you can fly faster. But when you're flying 3D, you want the camera angle to be less, because what happens is as you flip inverted, you're going to be looking at the ground right there. You're not going to be the normal. So if you have less angle, it'll actually give you a forward flight or forward view of the course. It won't be you won't just be looking at the ground like normal. Just a little tip. Number 1.
3D test number 1.
While flying SUV.
Nice.
Barrel roll, inverted forward, back to upright. I switched to 2D mode there to bring it in for a landing. Switch to 2D mode. And then cut the power and disarm. Alright, now comes the fun part. that one?
Yeah, I did. So Walkera did, it was had it all set up ready.
Yep.
Yeah,
all
so
you
you
have to
don't
do
have
is
to.
no, you don't have to do nothing.
Yeah.
Just plug it out, take it out the box, put the battery in, bind it, and go fly it. Yeah. Very, very easy to fly. And it works. It works good right out the box. There was no. It wasn't vibrating. It wasn't shaking. It actually flew pretty good. So I mean, I was really impressed by it. I've flown a lot of 3D multi-rotors, and
Yeah.
usually it's either really big multi-rotors or you have to build your own.
Yeah.
So this ready-to-go kit is actually fun for the new guys. They don't want to go through all the trouble of testing and building, and it works really good. So I was surprised.
Way to go, Abel.
Yeah, cool.